Right, you're welcome to our third week in our 4 weeks journey, and we'll be looking at interesting part of Power BI again today. And just before we go ahead, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. My handle is at Master Data with Dave, and we are looking at two major objectives today. And the first one is, of course, we've done this before, but we just use bar charts, line chart, pie charts, cards, and slicers again today. We'll create a report, a dashboard. Then we'll look at interactions between visuals. Also, we'll look at filters, slicers, and drill through. That's creating interactive reports, doing drill through on pages, and then we'll look at tool tips. The first thing we want to look at is creating a dashboard. We'll load our data and then we'll create some visuals. So I click on get data, I click on Excel workbook, I click on my data, and then inside my data, I have three different sheets. So I will click on the first, the second, and the third. I can see the preview. I'm sure it is fine. And I don't want to transform anything. I think it's fine. So I just load the data. Right. So that's my data. I can go to the table view and just, preview my data. Okay, I have customer ID, customer name, email, age, and gender. Under customers, under the products, I have the product, the category, the stock level, and then the supplier. And then under the sales data, I have transaction ID, product category, customer ID, region, date, unit sold, unit price, and then total sales. Right, let me check the model. Do I have any relationship between them? Oh, yes, I do. But what if I want to create my relationship myself, just like a refresher for those that have not been here? So I can right click and then delete. I can right click and then delete. So if you look at the product table and the sales data, I have products, I have products. So let's see if we can use that. Or if we can go and check the distribution. So look at products. So we can see the product table, and then we have the products we have. I think it's unique. So let's look at the sales, and then let's see the product as well. Click a drop down arrow. We can see that, yes, it's actually okay to use that. So I can use products, and then I use products. And that's one-to-many single. I think that's fine. You can click save. And then come back to customers table. Let's go back and look at it. I can see that if I click on the customer table, if I click on the customer ID column, I can look at the distribution towards the lower part to the left of the screen. I can see that 50 rows are there and then 50 distinct values, which is very fine. So that means I can use my customer ID as my primary key. So I go back to my model view. I click on the customer ID, drag it and drop it on the customer ID. One-to-many single, make it active. Yes, that's fine. So that's my relationship done. So I go back to my report view. So I want to create some visuals. I want to create a bar chart and I want to see total sales by region. So I click on this. Then I want to see total sales by region. I come on to sales data, total sales, and then I have region. I can just click and drag it inside. That is my total sales by region. I can rename it, double click on it, and then I have total sales. I can put a space and then I press enter. So that's total sales by region. Then I have total sales on the y-axis, region on the x-axis. So that's fine. I want to create another visual. I click outside of it. Then I want a line chart showing daily sales trend. Okay, so I click on a line chart and then I want sales is on the y-axis. And then I want my dates on the x-axis. Yeah, that should be fine. Let me see my dates on the sales data. Oh, okay, that's why it's showing like that. So let me go back and change it to Let me transform the data and then come to sales data, click on the dates, and I want to change it to dates. Just click on dates, replace current, and that's the date. So I close and apply. Yes, that's better. So if I take it to focus mode, I can see January 2023, so I can click on it and I can see the different points. So that's fine. Okay, the next one I want to create is a pie chart for sales by a product category. So I click outside, click on a pie chart, and then I want sales by product category. So where is the product category? I come here, the product category. That's the category. And then I want the sales. So that's it. Also, I want cards to show. So let's say I want to make my total sales by dates bigger than this. Then I want some cards. So let me have a card showing total sales and then units sold and profit. So let me use the new card. I'm using this. So I want total sales. I want units sold, units sold. So if I want the total sales to be currency and I want it to be euro and I don't want it to be um I want it to be in two decimal places. So I press enter. We can format it the way we want it. Then let me say I want to have a title to my dashboard. So I can insert a text box and I want to move it up and then resize it. Then I want to say, let's say it is May 2025 sales reports. Then I want it to be size 40. I want it centralized and I want the color of the text to be, I want it to be bold. Then I want the field to be, let's see. Yep. So I need to reduce the height of my pie charts. I want this to also come down same level and then this to the same level. Right. So let's say I want to add some sliders. So I want to slice it by, say, by region. I want another slicer by, I don't want the region. I want to remove it. Then I want to put my products. Then I want to put my, I want to remove the products. Then I want to put the year. So I'll put the dates. Well, click on the drop down arrow and then the date hierarchy and then choose the year. Well, let's say I just put the entire dates and let's see. Let's say I have the year and the quarter. That's just 1 year I've got. Okay, so I can use the months. That's fine. So here is my dashboard, and then I want to edit the interaction between the visuals and the slicers. For example, if I click on the product, it affects everything. Only keyboard, that's what I can see. Only laptop, that's what I can see. Only monitors, that's what I can see. Mouse, and I can do control and then select more than one. I can click on the region to be east, north, south, west, and then I can choose January, March, and the likes and the likes. And I can clear my selections by clicking on this that looks like an eraser. I just click on it, it clears my selection, and then clears my selection. Now, let's say I want my region not to affect every of my visual. For example, if I click on this slicer, then I can come to my format. Under my format icon, I can see edit interaction. Now, what this does is it tells you, okay, if you click on this particular visual, which of these visuals on the page is it going to affect? So if I click on the edit interaction, I can see the icons. That means looking at this icon, it is bold. That means it would affect this. If I click on the region slicer, it's going to affect this, 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 this. Anywhere you see that it is bold, it's going to affect it. Okay, so I need to resize it so I can see the one for this. Some bits, a little bit more. Okay. So let's say I don't want it to affect. Okay, I'll click on it again. Edit interaction is on. Then I want it to only affect the bar charts. So that means I can turn off the interaction on other visuals. So I can turn it off on my pie charts and then on my line charts. So if I click on the edit interaction again, that is taken off. So that means if I click on my east, it is only affecting my bar chart and my card visuals. It's not affecting others. It's not affecting my pie chart and my line charts. If I want to change that, I can come back, click on edit interaction, and then I can turn it on again. Just click on the filter, click on the filter icon, and then click on the edit interactions again, and then now it affects everything. The same thing, not just the visual, not just the slicers. If I click on my bar charts and if I select anything on my bar chart, I don't want it to affect, for example, my line charts. So I can click on the bar chart, click on edit interaction, and then come to my line chart and turn it off. And then maybe I want it to be on the pie chart, that's fine. Then I come back to the edit interaction and click on it again. So that means if I click on the notes from my bar charts, it's not going to affect my line charts. So my pie chart is changing, but my line chart is not changing. Why? Because I turned it off on the line charts. So we can do that for every visual. That means if I come to edit interaction and I want my year slicer not to affect anything except the cards. So that means I can turn it off, come to the year, and then I can turn it off on every other thing apart from the card visual. Then I go back to the edit interaction and unselect it. So if I click January, it's only affecting my card visual. Only my card visual, not others. But my product, because I did not change it, I did not edit it, everything is being affected. Right. Right. The next thing we want to look at is types of filters in Power BI. A filter is different from a slicer. A slicer is visible on your reports. So that means I can interact with this report I'm seeing on the screen with my slicers. So as I'm selecting anything there, I can see the effects on my dashboard. But what of is a filter? A filter is, for example, you are confident that you don't want to see any reports, anything that has to do with January, or you are confident that on this dashboard, you don't want to see anything that has to do with keyboard. only laptop and monitor, So that takes away anything that has to do with laptop and keyboard from your report. And it is more interesting because you don't have to select it yourself. Like you don't have to come and say, okay, what I want to see now is just report for South. Then you come back and have to come and click on it. If you are sure you're going to performance meeting tomorrow morning and the only thing they want to see is just report from the South because it is performance that has to do with the South. So just filter out every other data. Not that you're going to the report, to the performance session, and then you have all these filters, and then you're now selecting South, and they are saying that they have other data there. It doesn't really look clean enough. So how can you filter data out, at different levels? Of course, you have different levels at which you can filter it out. For example, you can filter it and let it affect only a particular filter, a particular visual, sorry. So you can filter and say, okay, on this bar chart, what I want to see is just sales by the South. So every other thing is filtered out. Or you can make it to affect the entire page. That means you can have more than one page on your Power BI reports. So you can have page one, page two, and the likes and the likes. And then you can have a filter that affects the entire report. That means a filter that affects not just page one, page two, and every other page you have in this report. Right. So how do we do that? You have the data pane, you have the visualizations, and then you have the filters. So if you click on the filter and you expand it, now let's click outside of it. That means nothing is selected. The options are filters on this page and then filters on all pages. So that means, for example, I want to ensure that I don't have a report on the mouse in this entire report. So I can come, you can see add data fields here. That means I can come and then drag, let's say, products into that particular, icon. And then you can see that you have options. So that means if I remember we are talking about filters on this page. So that means if I want to select just keyboard, laptop, monitor, and only tablet, I don't want to say anything that has to do with mouse. So I can unselect mouse. And then I come back. So under the product, mouse option is not even there at all. So it is focusing only on these 4 products. I can come back and then I can say, okay, now I want to see mouse, but not monitor. And then I can close it. The option is not there at all. So that means, for example, you have performance sessions with the manager of the northern region, southern region, and then the western region. And you have it at 10 o'clock in the morning, you have it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you have it at 3 o'clock in the evening. You can just say, okay, I'll just put it there. So I don't want it on the product. I want it on the region. And where is the region? I just drop the region there. And then when I'm going for my 10 o'clock meeting, I just come here and say, yes, it's only the north that will be coming. So, and then I go there. And of course, I can delete this so that, and then everything I'm talking about is just the north. And then after my lunch and 2 o'clock is the next meeting, I just come back here and then I say, now it is the south. And then I come back, everything is showing only the south. And then I come back 3 o'clock and I just say, okay, yes, we're going for the west. And then it's just the west. That is it. So that is the filter that affects the entire page. That's the page you're working on. Now, what if I have more than one page? I have like maybe let's say 7 pages, and I want this particular filter to affect every page on my report. What will I do? I can close it, and then I can drag the region into filters on all pages. So that means that as I'm moving from page one, of course, I have just one page in this report. But assuming I'm moving from page one to page two, page three, like that, I can confidently just say, okay, I want to see everything just for the South. So as I'm moving from one page to the other, it is still showing me report for the South only. Or I can say South and North. And that is what I'm saying. So if I have a filter for Where's my filter icon? Let's say I have a filter for the region. I can still see that what I have is just north and south. If I come back here and include the east will be included as well. So that's the filters that affect all the pages. Remember, we've talked about the filters on this page and then on all pages. So now if I select the bar charts and I say I want a filter to affect just this visual. Okay, let's say I include or I remove my selection here, and then all my, all the regions are showing. But I want on my bar charts, for example, if I rename it and I say the title should be total sales by region, and I put hyphen south. So I'm saying this is just for the south. And then I can drag the region and put it on this visual region. Oh, it's even there already. So I can now make it only south. And then that is south. So you can add filters that will affect just the visual or just the page you're working on or the entire page in your reports. Right. One more thing about our filters. Of course, you have filters on this page, filters on this visual and the likes. If you don't want this filter pane to show when you are presenting, you can hide it. So, for example, you are going before the management board, and then you don't want them to see that filter. Just want a plain, simple report. You can hide it. But if you are talking to maybe people that understand data, you want to interact well with it, you can make it visible. So even while you are presenting, you can be adding your fields, you can be, modifying the filter. You can just say, okay, I want for the east, I want just for the north, I want, you can just be working on that. Like you can decide what you want to see on the page. That's if it will not confuse your audience. Because some people, once you start doing that, they are lost totally. They don't want to see your technicalities. They don't want to see the details. They just want to see it on the screen and say, this is how we are doing in the month of May. This is what we can do to improve it. And that is it. Anything more than that, you have lost them. So you can make it either visible to everyone or you can just hide it. Right. The next thing we are looking at is tooltips. Now, what's a tooltip? It's a small pop-up box that appears when you over a visual element. Say your pie chart, your bar chart, you just move your cursor over it without clicking. You can see the little thing that comes up, that pops up, telling you more information about that section you are looking at. So it displays additional information about that specific data points, such as the values, the percentages, or custom details. That means you can customize what will be showing in your tooltip. And of course, it's not cluttering your reports. That means if I remove my mouse, it disappears. But I come back here, I can see it, you know. So that's my tooltip. Now, how can you make the most of the tooltip? For example, you don't want to clutter your reports, but you still want so much information. For example, if I click on my pie charts and I come to my edits to tip, I can search for tooltip, and then I can see what is there. And then it's saying auto, and then it's a report page. That's the default. So you can actually modify it and say, okay, what text do I want there? What color do I want? What background do I want? If I want to change the background color to this and I come back here, you can see that the color has changed. If I change it to a blue, you can come here and then we'll see that the color has changed. So for example, you are working with a brand that's their color is orange, and then you can come there and then change it to orange. So that by the time you are speaking, you are not talking, it's not showing something outside of what they can, relate with. So that's fine. That's how to change the text, you can make it bold, you can, and then you can also add more information. So you can add, for example, let's say I want to, okay, let me come to the line charts. And then what do I want to see on my tooltip? If I come back here, I can say, okay, when I click on my bar chart, normally what I can see there's just sums of total sales. I want to also see, let's say, the products or the units sold. So I can drag my units sold to my tooltip. I can drag my, let's say, my products or the category. Then if I come here and I click on it, I can see the first category is accessory. I can see total sales. I can see sum of units sold. I can put region, just whatever works for you. So instead of me having a different visual that will show the region and the category, sum of units sold, total sales, I can just put them in the tooltip. So when I'm presenting to management, I can just come and say, okay, in February, 1st February 2023, we had a total sum of 2,178 euro. So I mean total sales of days, sum of units sold is days, and the category is accessories, and then the first region is South. I can see the summary like that, and then I can go back to January because that's actually higher. I can say, okay, in 6th January 2023, the total sales was 8,568 euro, and everybody can see it. Instead of me, having that different visual on my page, it keeps it clean, but I can still access that level of information. Right. So the next activity we're going to be looking at is drill through. Drill through. That's like, when you drill through something, that means you are looking deeper into it. You want to explore it more, going beyond what you are looking at the surface. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, let's create another page. And then on the page, I want to create a new visual. Let's say I want to create a bar chart, and I want to create, let's say, a region and then total sales. So I can rename it as regional sales. Then I want to create another page, and I want to call that details. I press enter. Now on these details, I want a table, and then on the table, I want customer name, I want the products, I want the region, but I want the region to be the first column. Then I want total sales. And then is there another thing? Let's say I want gender. Okay, that's good. So I have two tables I want to look at. The first one has the region and its total sales. The second one has the region and then sum of sales, product, customer name, and then gender. Is there another thing interesting that let's say the customer email address as well? Right. So now this is my default page. Like I'm going to a performance meeting with my regional managers. Now, this is the default visual I'm showing them, but I want to dive deeper to analyze how they are doing, details of their sales and their customers and all those details. But I don't want to clutter my screen and put everything on the screen so it doesn't put them off. So what do I do? For you to do a drill through, the field that you want to drill through on must be on the two pages. So that means no matter how many pages I have, if I want to drill through from the regional sales to the details sales, there must be this region in my first table and the region in my, sorry, in my, the region in my first, page, and then the region in my second page. So there must be something common. There must be a field common between the two pages. So here I have region, and then here I have region. I have region. So if you look towards under my visualizations pane, I can see add drill through fields here. It's different from previous versions. I'm using May 2025, version of Microsoft Power BI in this lesson. So if you are using a different version, it's maybe different, but just check and then you can just update yours to, the version that I'm using, and then we can be on the same page. Let me take that step again. I have this page and the second page. So I want to make sure that my region is in the drill through, under the inside the fields that I have for drill through. So I drag the region, I drop it in there. This is the default page. That's the page I'm showing to the managers, the page 1. This is the page I want to drill into. I'll delete that again, and I'll remove it. So on the page I'm drilling into, I'll move that field inside of it. So I'm moving the region into the add drill through field here. So I can see this back arrow. So that by the time I drill through, I can go back to my initial page. And then I come back to the regional sales. If I right click on the east, right click, I can see drill through. So which page am I drilling through? To the details. Then it shows me everything about East. We can now analyze it, how many customers they have, what products were they selling, what is some of the totals, some of the sales, what gender are their customers, and they are their customers' email addresses. Then I can go back. If I click on this, control click to go back. So I control and then click, it takes me back. If I right click and I click on drill through details, it shows me only for the West. If I control go back, right click and then drill through details, it shows me only for the South. And that is my drill through. But remember, you start with a page. This is the landing page. This is what you are showing. Which page are you drilling through to? It is the details. So make sure on the details, you have that field in the add field here for drill through on the landing page. And then from the page 1, the first page, you can right click and then drill into that other page.